When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be. Did
you ever go back to the house to take a look at the problem?
She threw me out.
Wait, so did you go back to the house? Is that a yes or a no?
I did go back to the house.
And when you say she threw you out, why? What do you mean? What happened?
This is the plaintiff, Roseanne Panisi. She says she hired the defendant to install a frameless door in her shower, and the thing now leaks. It's like a flood every time she takes a shower, and when she called to complain, immediately the louse told her it's not his problem. Not his problem, huh? She's here in the name of justice, suing this unprofessional guy for every penny of the $2,750 she paid him. This is the defendant, John Passanisi. He says he told the plaintiff she needed to change the pipe on the showerhead because the water sprayed directly towards the opening of her shower. She agreed to make the $15 change, but never did. That's where her problem is. All she has to do is replace that pipe to direct the water down onto the shower floor, like she was supposed to, and all her problems will dry up. Oh, and for a full refund? No way! He's accused of being all wet.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
The People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milian is now presiding. Litigants have been sworn.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Ms. Panisi, you are suing Personal Touch Glass and Mirror, represented here by Mr. Passanisi, for $2,750 that you say you paid for a shower door installation that is not working. Tell me what happened.
Okay, so John was recommended by my contractor, Robert Stanko, and Robert is the one had the shower stall ready with tile, with quartz lining. We had the shower head in. It was basically all complete. So John recommended the frameless shower door system. So during the visit of September 28th, 2021, that's when I was to give John the deposit to do 2 shower door systems. There would have been 3, but only the master was ready on the first floor. So John, Robert, and myself, we met in the master bathroom, and basically my contractor asked John if he needed anything changed before the shower doors would go in, because that would be the time to do it. My contractor said he still had tools here and whatnot, but the job was completely done. The shower head was in.
Had he created the actual shower? Had he constructed the shower, or he had just changed a tile on it?
My contractor just changed the tile on it.
Okay. And then what did Mr. Passanisi say when he said, is there anything you need done?
He said, we will work with this. It's fine.
Okay. Is your contractor here to testify?
I have an affidavit from him, and he's available by phone.
I asked JP if he needed me to alter any of the master bathroom shower tile work prior to the shower door installation, and he said, no, we can work with this. He did not recommend any changes to the shower head or any other aspect of the shower stall at this time. All right, so go on.
The actual installation didn't happen until November, which was fine.
And what was the problem? Once the shower and he installed the master and he installed another bathroom. The other bathroom's fine. What was wrong with the master?
So when I took the first shower, which was about 11 days after the install, because I had injured my back and I couldn't go up to the third floor where the master was, so I used the first floor, which is the one that he had installed. And there were no problems with the first floor. And so I took the first shower, and literally when I stepped out of the shower, there was a flood of water, and it went from like my shower stall past the vanity and almost to the little bathroom where the toilet bowl would be. I slipped a little bit because, I wasn't really expecting to see that much water on the floor, but I didn't get hurt or anything. And I notified John right away, and he basically started to say things like it really wasn't his problem. And John's major fix was he wanted to line the doors with plastic and rubber and glue. And then he said, well, maybe he would frame it partially with metal and then the other part with some kind of plastic or rubber. And then he started to say in so many words that he told us to put a shower head that would lower the shower stream. So as a courtesy, Robert Stanko came over and switched out the shower head. Just to see if it would work. We were just willing to try to do anything. Even though I really didn't want the shower head lowered, I already had bought a brand new one.
Everybody stop one second. What he said to you was not to lower the shower head, but to not have it aiming at the door, to have it aiming down. So to add a pipe that would make the direction of the shower head go down, right?
He called it a...
but it's not lowering, it's making well, let's see the pictures. You have some video that you provided, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And the way the shower's designed...
Okay, who'd you put in there for this demonstration?
That's Evelyn. She's right next to me. She's my neighbor and my friend. And you can turn the shower on.
Oh, Evelyn is a good sport.
I know, she is.
Okay, so right here what we have is the shower head before anybody as a courtesy does anything. That is how the shower head always was, right?
Correct. That's always been the shower head.
Right.
And if you notice, it's tile, so we really can't change. I tried to change the direction of that shower head by tilting it, but when the water...
Right. Okay, let me hear from you, Mr. Passanisi.
Okay.
So what was it that, according to you, you had been telling her and supposedly the contractor?
Okay. I told her a year ago in December of 2020, when I first went to the house, that they would have to change the fill pipe to a 90-degree going straight down.
So it would go like this and then down like that?
Correct. Something that would go straight down like so.
Okay, so it comes out of the same hole in the wall. You don't have to hack up any tile, but it just goes down instead of just being connected here and spraying towards the door, which is here. That's what you told her. Okay. And do you have any evidence of having told her that? Because she has an affidavit from the contractor saying you never said such a thing. Do you have any paperwork that you gave her for the sale, an invoice?
Well,
anything she signed?
Yes, I do have a contract with her.
And does a contract say that you need to change the directionality of the shower?
No, but because of you, I did that verbally. I told her that. I told her several times.
It's a good idea to put something like that in writing, though, isn't it?
And I do have in writing, because of you watching your show, I do have frameless shower doors, have no seals, and have a possibility of water escaping. On the very bottom line, I have that in there because to protect myself from every bad tile job that there is out there.
Let me see the video a second. Let's talk about whether this is tile, directionality of the faucet, or what it is. Let's see. So you've put, in this demonstration, what you've done, Ms. Panisi, is you've put some paper towels.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah. Now, let me just ask you, Mr. Passanisi, on these doors, there are the rubber... There are or there aren't those rubber, I don't know what the word I should use are. Seals?
Yes.
So when you close the door, it should shut Kind of a little bit, like seal?
Well, a frameless shower door doesn't have them on there. But if you are having an issue with it, that is something that we would visit afterwards.
Okay, so
first,
while I'm looking at this frameless shower door, it doesn't have any of those rubber seals anywhere? Not even on the bottom?
Correct. It has a deflector on the bottom.
On the bottom only?
Right.
As you can see, the water is coming through terribly, and it's only a 5.5 minute shower. Evelyn, you can cut the shower if you like. We've got a lot of footage. This is the water that's coming out of these towels.
Did you ever see this video, Mr.
I didn't even look at it because...
Did you ever go back to the house to take a look at the problem?
She threw me out.
Wait, so did you go back to the house? Is that a yes or a no?
I did go back to the house.
And when you say she threw you out, why? What do you mean? What happened?
Well, so I went to the house and to see that she never changed the filler pipe to a 90-degree going straight down.
Okay.
So with that, I brought a seal and I brought a threshold to go across the bottom. And she started right away when I got to the porch, she started yelling at me saying, "Oh, you're not putting that in my house." Da-da-da-da. I said, "Well, Rose, let me take a look at it. Let me see what we got going on up there." So I go up there and I put a level on the curb and I see that the curb is pitched out of the shower. And her floor
we're talking
is
now,
also...
to be clear, here's the shower coming down. Here's the door. This is the shower area.
Right.
So this is like that step. Okay, that part, rather than being pitched towards the drain, you're saying it's pitched towards the outside.
Correct.
By how much?
Yes.
By how much?
I put a level on there, and it was a good almost 3/16, a quarter of an inch, maybe 3/16. Okay. I didn't really get that far into it because once I put the level on there, she saw me put the level on it, and she goes, "You can leave now."
All right. So what's your version of that encounter, Ms. Panisi?
My question to John when he did that was, John, why didn't you take the leveler out before you agreed to put the frameless unit in? That pitch and that piece of quartz in the tile never changed. So after the fact, he decided that...
Okay, so stop 1 second. And what's your answer to that, Mr. Passanisi? Because that would matter in how much water comes in or out. And that's an easy moment. You just take a level, and you put it on the thing. Like, why wouldn't you have done that then?
Because she was supposed to change the filler pipe from day one.
So you don't really think the level of the tile is the problem. You think it's the pipe.
I think if she changed her pipe, she would have no problem. And I know that she did not change the pipe because the nephew called me up and told me she never changed the pipe.
Why is a nephew calling you up and squealing on his aunt?
He called me up like 3 times, and then he threatened me and stuff.
Okay, if you according to you, Ms. Panisi, your contractor changed to the 90-degree and it didn't help. Can you prove that? Because you don't have any video of that.
Oh, yeah. I'm so sorry, I cannot prove that. He quickly unscrewed the shower head and put like the metal pipe that John showed you in that plastic bag. But when the water hits your body, whether you have the filler pipe low or high, when the water hits your body...
It's not a matter... I need you to understand that it has nothing to do with high or low. It has to do with whether it's spraying this way or spraying this way, and how much it's going to splash against the door and leak out based on whether the trajectory of the water's down versus the trajectory of the water spraying at the door. Okay? So this is kind of critical because I'll be honest with you. I have frameless shower doors that I've installed in many places in my life. And I understand the problem that you're having. I wouldn't have a problem with the plastic rim on the 2 sides of it because I still think it looks relatively frameless that way. I've had shower doors where it doesn't matter, and I've had shower doors where it does matter. I've had trajectories that were going in the wrong direction. I've never had a trajectory going at the door. That's got to be the absolute worst thing that you can do. You're literally spraying water at, where the gaps are. And I've had the trajectory going down. When you have the trajectory going down, all you have is the little bit of water spray that's going to bounce off your body and hit the door. When you have the trajectory going at you and the door, it's all going towards the door, and you're going to have a problem.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie, and one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. From plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
I am having a very difficult time believing that when you have filed this case to the tune of $3,000 and you did a 20-minute video demonstration for me, you're looking me in the eye and saying, oh, and we tried what he said, but that didn't work. But I don't have video of that, and I have no evidence here to show you that I did that. I mean, because I honestly think that if two things happened, if the pipe and they can make it. It doesn't have to be a silver. It comes in black, just like your nice hardware, where it goes down a 90 degree. If you change that and you put the rubber, not the metal, I don't want the metal either, but the rubber on one of the sides, can it be put on both sides or either side or just one side?
It could be put on. It could probably be put on both sides.
And that won't affect the opening and closing of the door?
It's been a while, so I don't know how much space is on the open side of the door. I try to keep them pretty tight. That door is cut at a square because the tile is so crooked. So I cut the door at a square so that she wouldn't have a big space.
I don't really want to hear that because I don't care. You saw it, measured it, looked at it. So I don't want to hear about how it's unlevel here or cut them. I don't really care. That's why you charge $2,750. It makes no difference to me. So, but the question is, and yes, I do see that on your agreement, you have frameless shower doors, have no seals, and have a possibility of water escaping. Okay, now I agree that that covers you for a possibility of water escaping. I also agree with her that this is a flood and not water escaping. But I agree with him that you're showing me zero evidence of having done the one thing he says he's told you over and over. Why wouldn't you have just gotten that 90-degree pipe and done it? Because I'm having a hard time hearing you say, oh, just trust me, I did it, but I have no evidence of that.
It's basically an aesthetic solution.
But why would it look so different to have the shower head go down the 90 degrees and have everything else is the same? I mean, he's submitted into evidence. I've seen your aesthetic, and I get it. He's submitted into evidence.
Everything is
some pictures. Here's one that matches your aesthetic. It's a $19 solution. Here's another one that follows your aesthetic, and you can even have this one. You can even have go higher if you felt like that was too close to your head. So where's the aesthetic problem in having this done? It's not, I mean, it may be a $100, $200 problem, not a $27.50 problem, because I know it would work. You don't understand. I've done this. I am the daughter of a contractor. I am the sister of a contractor. I have remodeled like 5 homes. I have put in about 4. You have the misfortune of talking about something I'm actually familiar with, all right? So, because Mr. Passanisi, I do not find this to be a little water, as item 13 says, may escape, a possibility of water may escape. I think that both sides do not anticipate this kind of water. Because I don't see in your invoice where you warn her that she needs to change it. I find that the proof in this case is that that is something that you told her afterwards would solve it. But because I do believe it would solve it, then I believe that you at best have a measure of damages of what it would cost you to change it to the 90 degree. When you say, oh, that would totally ruin the look, I not only disagree with you that a reasonable person would think that would ruin the look, I also disagree with you that it would ruin the look. But the bottom line is, when this has a $200 solution, you don't get a free shower stall. I'm finding in your favor in the amount of $200, which is the cost of the pipe, plus, because I'm not sending him back there. I'm finding in your favor in the amount of $200, which is the cost of the pipe, someone to install it, and the plastic stripping. That's your measure of damages. If you want to take it. If not, then you take the $200 and figure out your own solution to it. That's my verdict.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, the plaintiff does not get the $2,750 she was looking for. Ms. Panisi, you smiled as the judge gave her decision, but deep inside, I don't think you're happy, are you? Well, how are you feeling right now?
It's okay. At least I'll have $200, and I had some pretty good estimates for less than half of what he charged. So at the end of the day, something is better than nothing.
All right, Mr. Passanisi, how do you feel about the outcome of this case? You got to be pretty okay with it, right?
Well, Doug, I kind of knew it was going to go this way. I go through great lengths to take care of my customers. I have a great customer service. I go back and take care of any issues that they have. And so I don't know what to tell her. I tried and tried. I have a booklet of text messages going back and forth, and she just never did anything.
Well, thank you very much. Okay, and the judge gave you some good advice. Put this kind of thing in the contract next time. Then that'll really keep you in the clear.
I mean, Doug, it's really this simple. You cannot get something new if the problem could be easily fixed. That's simple.
Does double jeopardy apply in civil cases the way it applies in a criminal case? If I sue someone for $500 and lose, and then he walks out and makes statements, I know I owed it to you, but I'm never going to have to pay you, can I file a new case against him with that new evidence?
Right. Can the person walk out of the courthouse on the front step, say, nanny, nanny, boo-boo?
Nanny, boo-boo, yes.
Well, as we know, in criminal cases, the Fifth Amendment says, nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb. But in civil cases, there's a different concept.
Yeah, we don't call
I'm
it that.
sure you know exactly what it is, so I'll let you say.
It's res judicata.
Exactly.
Res judicata.
Res judicata, which means that the thing's determined.
Been determined.
Or adjudicated. Right.
Or collateral. You're collaterally estopped is another phrase often used.
Right.
Wait, that issue's been decided. That's issues decided.
Issue
res judicata is the case has been decided.
Right.
So, yes, in a sense, it's not the same as double jeopardy. Right. It's different, but you don't get 50 bites at the apple. Or,
no.
Is that the right phrase?
Exactly. What's going to happen is if you file another lawsuit, a judge is going to read it. There's going to be a motion to dismiss right from the beginning, and they're going to attach the judgment from the last lawsuit to that, and they're going to say, Judge,
yeah, but wait, but since then I got him on tape saying X, or whatever.
No.
So the answer is yes. He can gloat in the hallway of the courthouse.
Right. Just like, hey, unfortunately, people commit murders from time to time and then confess. There was a case in Vermont about 10 years ago where a guy shot a guy in the head in a pizza shop. He goes to trial, he's acquitted, and then about 8 years later, he calls the local police who handled the case, and he says, I want you to come and get me. I'm confessing. I'm the guy who pulled the trigger. I killed him.
And he couldn't be prosecuted?
No. He did get prosecuted because when the police came to get him, they had an altercation. And I think they prosecuted.
And that's the only thing they could prosecute.
Simple
Some
assault.
new thing.
Simple assault.
Right.
But, other people sometimes have been prosecuted for perjury after the fact. They confess later on tape or in a phone call, and then it turns out, well, we can't.
Yeah, like if he testified at his own trial and lied, and now you have evidence of that, that would be a perjury charge. But you can't try him again, no matter what, no matter how unfair it feels, you can't try him again for the actual crime.
Right.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
This is the plaintiff, Ngozi Anwamari. She says she hired the defendant to put faux locks in her head, and the woman clearly didn't know what she was doing because the locks she used were too heavy, and she now has terrible neck pain. The defendant refused to listen to her or work with her, and she's had to get the hair removed. The defendant won't give her a refund for the shoddy work she did, and she's here suing her in this court for the $350 she's owed. This is the defendant, Victory. She says she's been braiding hair since high school, and she knows what she's doing. Thank you very much. She told the woman the locks she purchased were going to be a little heavy, but that's what the woman wanted. So who was she to tell her not to choose that hairstyle? Bottom line, she did an outstanding job. She would have been willing to work with the plaintiff to remedy the situation, but she became nasty and sued her. So now, no way. She's accused of a bad hair job. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $350 for defamation and wasting her time.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says that she hired the defendant to attach dreadlocks to her hair, says the hair was actually too heavy, and as a result, she now has horrible neck pain. But the defendant says the plaintiff purchased her own dreadlocks. She told her that they were going to be heavy, but she wanted them installed anyway, and here they are. It's the case of, I dread this neck pain.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
All right, Ms. Zanwamir, you are suing Ms. Victory and her company to return $350 that you paid for a hairstyle that you feel she negligently did, and you are suing her for $350 for defamation and wasting your time. All right, let me hear from you first, Ms. Zanwamir. What happened here?
So I went to go get my hair done. The style was $350. I was given the hair, so she bought the hair, she installed it. When I was there, I noticed— Who buys the hair? You buy the hair or she buys the hair? So she bought the hair. It was included with the style.
Okay, and did you tell her which hair to buy, or you didn't tell her which hair to buy? Okay, go on.
No.
So do you send her a picture of the hairstyle you want?
So I choose the style.
That's on her website?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, and do we have a picture of the style that you chose?
Yes.
So go on.
So it's called textured locks.
Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah. So I chose that style. I get there, we're kind of talking. We're actually having a good time, talking to her about different things. And before that, I remember paying a deposit, like on the 16th. And then that morning, she texts me and she's like, hey, the rest of your style is going to need to be paid in cash. And so I get there. She's every time she does a lock, she's like, is this good? Is this good? And I'm like, yeah, it feels okay. And then when we get to the end of the style, I'm like, this is really heavy. This is really heavy. And she's like, do you want me to put it half up, half down? And I'm like, no, I don't want to have to wear my hair half up, half down the whole time, just because it's heavy. So I end up leaving because we're in her house.
How long does this process take?
So on her website, it said 4 hours. I can't recall how long it took, but it took some hours.
Do you recall how long it took, Ms. Victory?
Yes, it took about 6 or 7 hours.
Okay. Why did it take so long?
Well, she got them 24 inches, so they were much longer than if it would have been shoulder length, it probably would have been like 4 hours.
Okay. So she's doing the locks and showing you the size, asking you at the beginning of this either 4 or 6 or 7 hour journey, is this okay? Is this okay? And do you ever tell her, no, that looks too fat? No, that looks like it's going to be too heavy?
We did at one point discuss the size, and I was like, oh, she redid it. And she was like, I was like, oh yeah, the size, but I don't have a problem with the size. My main concern was the heaviness of it, which I did say before I left. And that's when she mentioned, should she style it half up, half down? And I told her I don't want to wear my hair half up, half down the whole time.
Okay, so what do? You leave, and then when do you reach out to her?
So I left. This was on a Friday. I reached out to her on a Monday over the weekend because I could not sleep, and the locks were essentially pulling on my scalp between. Because what had happened is she put 2 locks together, so those 2 locks were essentially pulling from different directions into one lock that she created. So after the weekend, I tried to give it some time to see if my neck would get used to the heaviness. But I just realized over the weekend that it just was not getting used to it. And on Monday, I reached out to my cousin that typically does my hair. And she was like, whoa, that's a lot of hair. And it seems very heavy. And she was like, yeah, you need to take that out. So I decided to take it out on that Monday. The process to take it out was even pretty long. And a lot of the locks
Who took it out?
The hair, I ended up taking it out. And there's also evidence of that as well.
So the picture on the left is you.
Correct.
And the picture on the right is your desired look.
Yes.
And then this is a picture of what?
So that's a picture of me getting it redone after the 21st. The stylist that I ended up reaching out to, showing her that
that's
it
her
was pulling
cousin
on my hair. Correct.
Right. Okay.
My cousin. So she ended up doing it again, which she's my typical stylist anyway. She ended up doing it again, and that's the end result. And then that's the amount of hair that was taken out from my hair, from the style. And then there's also a video of me taking it out as well. So that was the weight of the style.
I ended up getting locks, and they are so heavy. Look, literally. You hear that? Like hitting me? It's that heavy. Like literally. Cute, but I gotta take them out because they're literally so heavy. You hear that? Literally.
You reach out to her the following Monday, is it? And text her that you would like to take it out. And what is your request at that point? Will you take it out free of charge? Right?
Yeah, so I asked, would she take it out free of charge or would she discount? Because I know that she spent her time to do it. So it's just a matter of, I'm not asking for a full refund at that time. I'm just asking for you to work with me. Right. I wasn't able to wear the hair more than 3 days. And for me, it doesn't make sense to pay $350 for a style that I couldn't keep in. And one of her promises on her website was that it was tension-free and lightweight. So I didn't get tension-free or lightweight.
Okay. Let me hear from you, Ms. Victory.
Initially, when she came and got her hair done, she's explaining to me how she wanted the texture locks to be a little bigger, I'm guessing, as far as the parts. So initially when I started, because I wanted to do them one by one of her locks so they can be smaller and they probably would have been more comfortable on her head. But she wanted them a little thicker. So at first I put 3 locks together. That was too much. So I ended up putting 2 together. And I was asking her, because I was telling her that it was going to be heavy because her locks were thick and she was getting them 24 inches. So they are pretty long. So that adds more weight. I did like the first back rows, and I was asking her, like, is this a good size? You know, is it good on your head? Because I knew it was going to be heavy because we used like 8 bags of hair. And then from there, I just was doing her hair. And then when she got done, she looked in the mirror. She said it was a lot, and I was like, yeah, that's why I was asking you as I was doing it. Like, was it okay? Because, like, it's a lot of hair. Her locks are thick. They actually look pretty smaller now. They look nice.
So why didn't you do it that way? Why didn't you just do it 1 by 1 instead of 2 by 2?
She didn't want it. She
wanted the thicker.
Yes.
As it turns out, then she changed her mind. She didn't like the thicker. It was too heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do it 1 by 1, wouldn't it be just as heavy?
They probably would have been a little fuller. I mean, they're going to be heavy regardless because it's lock hair and they're really long. But usually my clients, they get used to it. But she wanted them thicker. So, yeah.
All right. And so is she right that then it was pulling 2 of them in order to make the 1? So
yes, I twisted 2 of her locks together and then wrapped it to make the lock.
So she texts you, and let's see the text she sends. What day does she do the hair?
On the 18th.
And then on Monday the 21st, she texts you, unfortunately, my hair is extremely heavy and causing me to have neck pain. I can't keep it in. This in mind, it hasn't even been 3 days since the install. Would you be willing to refund a portion or remove the hair for free? She texts you at 4:18 on Monday, and on Tuesday at 8:23, when she has not heard from you, she writes, a response would have been the decent thing to do. This in mind, $350 isn't worth ruining your business name reputation. Got the hair removed. This is very bad business. Do unto others as you want done to yourself, God bless. Did you ever respond to her?
I did.
And then where are those texts? Do you have those? Because she didn't give them to me.
I sent those in.
Okay, give me a moment. Good morning. I was very busy yesterday and didn't see your message. I do apologize. I would have been happy to take the locks down for free. As far as the locks, I apologize if they were stiff and too heavy for you. I did explain that they would be thick and maybe stiff because of your natural locks. See, here's the thing. You know, this isn't somebody cuts your hair and boom, they botch it, and it all happens in a second, and then there's no way back. We have a situation where, what time does she get there, Ms. Victory?
I don't know, maybe like 8:30 or 9 in the morning.
And what time does she leave?
Like 4:30.
Right. It's an all-day affair when you do this. Mm-hmm. And she, according to your own testimony, she's asking you, how is this? Is this okay? Is this okay? So the job she did is the job you wanted. You never said, no, that's not okay. Stop. This is too much. This is that. The problem is that the job you asked her to do ended up feeling too heavy for you. And then on Monday you text her, and yes, it would be the good business sense thing to do to say, hey, come here, I'll take them out of you for free, or whatever it is that she would want to say. But does she have a legal obligation to do something? She has a legal obligation only if she did something wrong. And in this case, in this specific hairdo, it's an 8-hour event where she's asking, is this okay? Is this okay? Is this how you want it? And you're like, yeah, that's how I want it. And then in the end you say, oh, you know what? I picked the hairstyle. It's just too heavy. But the strange part is that you're very impatient. Like, you assume that because you read your text and you live with your phone as an attachment to your hand, that everybody else does too. Maybe she actually didn't see it. You have a counterclaim against her for $350. Why?
Really just because, like, I would have been willing to work with her, actually.
Wait a second, that's the best answer. Hold on one second, I want to hold on to that. Well, just because. Just because, what do you mean?
Welcome back to the People's Court. The question, did the defendant screw up the hair job, or did the defendant just do what the plaintiff wanted? Let's go back into the courtroom and find out.
I would have been very much willing to work with her if she would have responded, because I do understand you spent $350. You only had the hair for 3 days. And I do understand that it was heavy. So I would have gladly gave her some type of refund, but she never said anything back.
When she sends, oh my gosh, I didn't see it, I would have, taken them out for free. Why wouldn't you then, I'm just curious, say to her,
Judge,
go ahead.
I was going to say, this is actually the first time I'm seeing that. After that message, I actually blocked her because I didn't want any
you were so
other
upset.
conflict.
Okay.
No, because I didn't want any
Well, look
other
at that. At 8:33, not 10 minutes after your second message, she says, oh my gosh. Wait, let me read it again. Good morning, exclamation point. I was very busy yesterday and didn't see your message, exclamation point. I do apologize. I would have been happy to take the locks down for free. Like, this is an entree to continue discussion. But if you block her, you're not going to know that she sent you a text 10 minutes after your second text, right? Yeah. All right, on your counterclaim, 0. However, Ms. Anwamir, on your claim against her, I'm also going to rule 0, because this is something that I think you just had buyer's remorse on. This is a style you picked. This is a style you saw happening that took 6 hours to do. So you see as it's going along just how thick it's going to be. And at no point do you say, stop, this is too thick. It's just after you wear the style you picked and you say, yeah, okay, let's go. And you leave, and then you think you'll get used to it, and then you don't get used to it, that you have the buyer's remorse. That doesn't mean she breached the contract. I'm ruling in favor of the defendant on your claim against her. On your counterclaim, 0, because just because is not a reason to sue someone.
So the defendant prevails in this lawsuit. The plaintiff does not get her money back. Ms. Anwamir, let me ask you how you feel about the judge's decision here. You're not getting money back,
Yeah, it's fine. It was just a matter of the principle. Like, had I known she responded, I would have been totally fine and saved some of my time.
What about the hairstyle? Did you like the look of it? We know it was too heavy for you and your head hurt, but did you like the look? You picked the look out, from her catalog.
Yeah, and that was never something that I was coming to contest. It was more so the heaviness and the lack of ability to wear it due to the heaviness, and her company basically saying that it would be lightweight and tension-free.
Okay. And what are you wearing right now? Is that a style, or is that your natural hair, or what?
This is my natural hair.
Oh, it is? Okay. All right. Well, a lot lighter than the other. No question about that. All right. Let's talk to Victory. Victory, does this happen very often when you put that much work into a job, the customer's not satisfied with it?
No, not very often, but I do get, a couple bad apples, I say.
All right. Well, obviously she was not happy, and what can I tell you? You know, you're okay. You don't have to give her the money back, and you didn't win your countersuit. Just for the fact.
Look, I wish I would have gave a better reason so I could have got some countersuing.
All right. Well, listen, congratulations. Thank you very much.
So, Doug, here's the thing. You may have regrets about what you got and what you paid for, but once the deal is done and the job is done properly, buyer's remorse doesn't cut it.
My sister lives in her apartment for more than 35 years. She lives on disability. The building was sold about 3 years ago, and ever since they've been raising the rent. In 2021, she was paying $765, and it went up to $1,250. They fix nothing and harass her. They want her out so they can charge someone new more. What can she do?
Well, I'm sorry that she happens to be on a fixed income and on disability, but the judge or the jury is supposed to dispense justice without fear, without prejudice, and without sympathy. So it has to do with the contract between her and her landlord. And
her lease and
she
her
is honoring
legal
it,
rights
whether
as
he
a
is
tenant.
exactly,
Right.
and that's it. So,
so if you're on a month-to-month tenancy, then you have the right to have the notice that your state requires on a month-to-month tenancy. If you're on a lease, then you have the right to have the notice that the lease says. In other words, if you rent for $765 for 1 year on a lease, you can't expect that it's going to be $765 the next year, because unless it's rent controlled and they're violating some rent control, law.
Or they've raised it beyond the amount that you're legally entitled to raise it. Some states control.
If there's a state that limits the amount you can legally raise it.
Right. Or if the landlord's really breaching the lease by not fixing stuff that should have been fixed.
Well, that's a totally different issue. If they're not fixing stuff, then you can withhold rent until they fix it. But that's not going to let you stick around. It's not going to keep you there at the rent you want to pay, which is really what you're questioning.
It gives you a remedy, just not the one you want.
Right.